Hey friends, it's Tuesday, April 14, and I'm here in the gallery to film your daily briefing. First things first, I got some good news to share with you. At least I think you're going to think it's good news. You remember last Sunday, you guys remember? You remember last Sunday we were going to have Easter in the parking lot, and then snowflakes, cancellation, big no on Easter. Well, guess what? We decided to go ahead and do the parking lot service this coming Sunday. So we're going to go ahead and have drive-in church this coming Sunday instead of last Easter. The weather looks beautiful this Sunday. It's supposed to be in the 60s and sunny. Man, why not? Let's do this. So I want to invite you to come and join us for church in the parking lot this coming Sunday. And I'm excited because we're going to start a new series in the parables of Jesus, which is something we had planned for a long time. And we're just going to say, hey, forget about coronavirus. We're doing what we would be doing even if we were over there in the sanctuary. We're just going to preach through the parables of Jesus and learn together about the kingdom of God. So that's happening this Sunday. I hope you'll come and join us and turn your FM dial on and celebrate worshiping kind of together. As I said before, I know it's not really together. It's you in your car and me in my car. But you know what? It'll feel kind of like we're at least in the same zip code. And that'll be a good thing. So that's happening this coming Sunday, little piece of a little bright spot I can share with you. Now, again, I want to continue to help you see that part of what we need to do as Christians is to continue to respond hopefully and to practice biblical wisdom. So I told you in one of last week's daily briefings that one of the main models that everybody's looking at to sort of explore the effects of coronavirus and how should we be preparing is a model from the Institute for Health Metrics and Evaluation at the University of Washington. It's a think tank, people who do medical modeling and who specialize in this sort of mathematical data sets. And so what they're doing is running these models and trying to say, here's what we think is going to happen. What I keep trying to remind you of is they're all based on math. Okay? And so those models get revised almost every day as real hard scientific data comes in as far as how is this coronavirus actually affecting things. So in other words, we're starting from certain assumptions that we, like variables in algebra, of like, we think it's going to look like this, but then that variable changes based on actual data. Here's what happened. On April 2nd, that model said 262,000 people were going to be hospitalized in the US. On April 8th, they changed that to 166,000 people. On April 9th, they changed that to 94,000 people would be hospitalized. And just yesterday, they changed it again to now expecting that 56,000 people will end up being hospitalized. In other words, their initial estimates were 450% of what the actual reality now is going to be. Now, as I've shared some of that data on social media, people keep telling me, well, yeah, that's because social distancing is working. And certainly, that's at least part of the answer here, and we should be thankful for that. But the other part of that is, and the model was probably not accurate to begin with, because our assumptions weren't accurate. And so what I want to try to help you do is to realize all the sort of prognostications about what's going to happen, or what's not going to happen, or what might happen, are all based on mathematical modeling, and we as Christians need to rightly take that with a grain of salt and say, hey, let's respond wisely. Let's let that shape some of how we think about the future, but let's not assume that all the numbers people are throwing out about everything that's going to happen is automatically accurate. Part of how we live with wisdom is to recognize, you know what? People are predicting things based on models, and those have some measure of error within them. And so we're just going to live in the midst of what we know today and continue to move forward. Now, here's what I can tell you. The model predicts by August, here's how many people are going to die in the state of Nebraska from coronavirus. Are you ready? 281 people. Okay, now, every one of those is a human being made in the image of God. However, as we think about like catastrophic public health, that is not a catastrophe. That is not a massive number, okay? And so we need to respond, again, wisely and go, okay, so as I told you in yesterday's daily briefing, we're going to have to continue living with this virus and living with the effects of it. It's not going away. But part of what we're going to have to learn to measurably appreciate is, okay, people are going to continue to get sick. Some people will need hospitalization. Some people will die because that's how viruses work. But we need to walk forward with some sense of realistic expectation that this is going to be part of our lives going forward. Again, my hope continues to be that within the next few weeks, we'll begin to see some things open back up. And I promise you, as soon as we can get back together as a church, I want, as badly as you want, to go back to normal, quote unquote, in how we gather together. But again, the incremental step we're going to take toward that is to gather together in the parking lot this week. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you're looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to beginning to talk about some of Jesus' most famous parables. And I want to close by asking you this. If you know someone, a friend, a relative, a neighbor, a family member, who has been mystified by what Jesus means in some of his parables and wants to explore that, would you invite them either to come to the parking lot on Sunday or to tune in? As we have been doing, we'll provide that sermon online as soon as we can. And for those of you that can't come and join us in the parking lot, of course, we'll make the living room liturgy available on the website, and so you'll still be able to worship at home if you would like to. So I'm excited to begin exploring the kingdom of God as Jesus taught it to us in the parables. And I'll see you when that begins on Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow for another daily briefing.